We are now parked on the edge of Oak Ridge, facing the valley north of Gettysburg. And if you were here on the afternoon of July 1st, you would have seen a portion of the Union 11th Corps, some 6,000 men, stretched out below this ridge all the way across the valley, over near to where the large radio tower now stands. This was a weak position for the Union troops north of town. Without a shred of cover, they were fired upon by Confederate cannons positioned on Oak Hill and on the other side of the valley. The extreme right end of the Union 11th Corps was anchored across the valley atop a small knoll, today known as Barlow's Knoll, named after Brigadier General Francis Barlow, who attempted to defend the knoll during the battle. What Barlow found out, though, was that the knoll was particularly vulnerable to attack from several directions. At 3:30 in the afternoon, 1,800 Georgians came screaming over the fences, splashing through a creek, and slammed into the Union position atop the hill. These shock tactics stunned the Union soldiers, and before any semblance of order could be reestablished, two more Confederate brigades came crashing in from the side, threatening the Union soldiers from the front and rear. The position was untenable and soon collapsed under the pressure. With the right end of the Union 11th Corps line unhinged, the entire line began to crumble. During the course of the fighting that afternoon, the barn that you see to your left, down in the valley at the base of Oak Hill, a McLean barn, would be the site of one of the biggest ironies of the battle. The Civil War was known as the War of Brother Against Brother. This certainly would prove true on the afternoon of July 1st. Elements of the 45th New York Infantry Regiment from Syracuse, New York, were ordered to the barn and surrounding areas to flush out Confederate sharpshooters. One of the soldiers present with this Union regiment that day was a corporal by the name of Rudolph Schwartz, a German immigrant. As Schwartz was heading to the barn, he spied Confederate prisoners being taken to the rear. One of the men he caught sight of was his own brother, dressed in a Confederate uniform and fighting with the Southern troops near Oak Hill. Immediately, the two men embraced. Then, parting from one another, the Confederate brother was escorted to the rear. And sadly, later that afternoon, Rudolph Schwartz, the Union soldier, was killed in action. Now, at the same time that you have the right end of the Union 11th Corps being overrun, the Confederates launched a series of attacks up here along Oak Ridge and along McPherson's Ridge. The attacks came fast and furious, and the Union 1st Corps here on Oak Ridge was on the verge of collapsing. Observing this situation was Union General John Robinson, in command of the right end of the line. With precious few minutes to spare, he rode over to the 16th Maine Infantry, commanded by Colonel Charles Tilden. Pointing to a spot very near to where we are currently parked, Robinson ordered Tilden to take that position and hold it at any cost. Tilden and 298 men of the 16th Maine charged into the eye of the storm. They fought with sheer determination to try to hold off the Confederate onslaught and give the rest of the 1st Corps a chance to retire. Within a short time, they were surrounded. Colonel Tilden, recognizing that they would soon be killed or captured, resolved to deny his enemy the spoils of their victory. Taking his sword, an honored symbol of command, he plunged the blade into the earth and broke it off at the hilt. Banding together, the remaining men of the regiment broke the staff of the regimental flag in half, tore the banner into shreds, and distributed the pieces among the survivors. 164 of the men were captured, and when they were sent off to Confederate prisons, parts of the 16th Maine flag went with them, to Libby Prison in Richmond, to Belle Isle, and later to Andersonville in Georgia. Following the American Civil War, several pieces of the flag returned once again to Gettysburg, to the hallowed ground the regiment had defended to the last.
You are now ready to proceed to auto tour stop number 4.